Well, hey guys, Mac Lake coming to you once again from lockdown in Charleston, South Carolina, and I hope you guys are doing well. Guys, it's been fun watching pastors innovate, create, and unite together in this time of crisis. I've never seen a uniting of pastors like I have recently. On today's video, I want to talk to you about how to leverage this crisis for leadership development. This is a time when we could neglect leadership development, but it is a time when we need to lean into leadership development. So don't miss this opportunity. So I'm going to give you 8 thoughts around that today. But before I jump into that, past few days I've been sharing videos with you. I shared the first video was about how to innovate, how to think innovatively in this time of crisis, because if we don't think innovatively, we're going to see a decrease in engagement in community and serving in our churches. So go back and check that video out. And then Saturday I did a video on 11 innovation ideas that you can utilize in your church, and people have been using them and sending me stories and pictures and stuff. I love that. Thank you. But today I want to talk to you about leveraging this time of crisis for developing leaders in your church and give you some thoughts about that. Okay, here's the good news. The good news is this: you can begin to identify more leaders in this season than ever before. You can actually double the number of leaders that you have. Bad news is you can dilute the impact they have if you don't develop them. Okay, in this season, there are people who are going to be stepping up. So this is point number 1. Okay, tip number 1, thought number 1, whatever it is. Okay, look for new leaders. Look for new leaders. It is in this season, people are going to look at you and go, hey, how can I help? What can I do? You can get new small group leaders by saying, hey, we need your help to lead an online small group. Boy, we need you to help mobilize some people to serve the school and provide meals. I mean, there's all kinds of things. When people say, how can I help? Have an answer. Watch for what they want to do and look for new leaders in the season. People love to serve in times of crisis, and it's a huge opportunity to actually identify some new leaders in this season. All right, thought number 2, think younger. Think younger. Don't just think 25 and above. Think 10 years old and above, all right? Think about these young leaders. Think about Gen Z. Think about children. Think about students. How can you engage them in what's going on? They want to be involved. Guess what? They got tons of time right now. They have tons of creativity. They have, man, if anybody knows technology, it's this generation. Lean into that, and what you're going to discover is you're going to help some kids get some ownership on your church. Now, they may not step into leadership right away, but they can get some ownership. I know what happened to me when I was a kid. I began to serve in my church, and guess what? Oh my goodness gracious, it was incredible. It gave me this sense of confidence and connection to my church, but it gave me a passion for the gospel and gave me a passion for the church. Many of you know my son, Brandon Lake, worship leader. I remember when he was, 11 years old, we were putting him on stage. He was terrible. But you know what? We put him on stage. It gave him a passion for Christ, gave him a passion for the church. So how can you identify younger leaders in this season of crisis? Number 3, do online huddles with your leaders. Don't ignore your leaders in this season. This is prime time just to reach out to your leaders and say, hey, we want to do a leadership huddle with you, a training huddle with you. We're going to get together for 30 minutes on Wednesday night at 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Send them a 3-minute Patrick Lencioni video, John Maxwell leadership video, just a short little 3-minute video, and say, hey, watch this video, and then we're going to talk about it. When they get online, you don't talk. Remember, these huddles are for peer-to-peer learning, not for you to be the expert and share everything you know, okay? So just get online and say, hey, guys, you watched that video. What stood out to you the most? What strengths did it affirm in you? What growth area did it reveal for you in your leadership? What are some common mistakes you see leaders make in this area of leadership that the video was referring to? And what are 2 or 3 action steps you can take to apply that at home, at work, and in ministry this week? All right, do these type of huddles. Get leaders learning from each other. Man, what a great opportunity to get them together online. They don't have to travel. 30 minutes right there in their home, and you can do leadership development with your leaders. Number 4, I think it is. Recruit and mobilize leaders of leaders. Recruit and mobilize leaders of leaders. Some of the existing leaders in your church are going to go, hey, I'll do more. I'm willing to do more. Okay, fantastic. Then make them a coach. Give them 3 to 5 leaders that they can oversee and simply say to them, hey, here's what I want you to do. I want you to check in with these leaders, and here's what you're going to ask them. You're going to ask them, hey, what's going well with the group you're leading or the team you're leading? What's going well? What's the biggest challenge that you're facing right now as you're leading this group or leading your team? How can we help you in this season? What's the best story that's emerging over the past couple weeks from your group or from your team? And then what leadership lesson are you learning right now? So have that discussion with them. Empower your coaches to have those discussions and funnel some of that information back up to you as staff. But listen, if you as the staff are the one trying to touch all of your leaders, you are missing out on a huge opportunity to decentralize your leadership, to delegate some spiritual leadership to leaders in your church and make them leaders of leaders. Don't miss out on this opportunity, okay? People willing to do more in this season. All right, number 5, I think it is. All right, observe your leaders in action. You have an unprecedented opportunity here. Everybody's moving to online small groups. Everybody's moving to online services. So guess what? When you're doing online small groups, pastors, coaches, leaders, you can say, hey, you can say to your leaders, hey, would you mind sharing the link with me? I'd love to just pop into your group. You pop in on that group whenever they're meeting online, virtually, and just say, hey guys, I just want to pop in and encourage you tonight. Just want to be a part of your group. I just want to sense what's going on in our church. So I just want to hop on and just be a part of your group tonight. And just be quiet, listen, just be a participant in that group for a little bit. And then for 10 minutes after the group's over, just look at that leader and say, hey, what do you think you did well tonight? What's something you would do different? What are you learning about leading your group right now? And then just praise them and encourage them for their leadership. But hey, think about this. Most of your groups are happening in homes, right? And you can't drive around and check on all these groups. But when they're online, you can pop in so easily from any place because they're all online right now. All right, so take advantage of that. Number 6, give stretch challenges. Give some stretch challenges. This is a huge opportunity to look at somebody and say, hey, I see something in you. I see something in you. I'd love for you to lead an online devotion for us. Or, hey, I'd love for you to sit with us on Sunday morning as we live stream our service. I want to interview you. Or, hey, I think you would be phenomenal at leading an online small group for single moms or whatever it is. You know, give some stretch challenges in this season. People are ready and ripe for that. They want to step up. All right, number 7, do a leadership book study together. Get your staff together online and say, hey, guys, we're going to do 1 chapter a week. We're going to read. And hey, if you don't have a leadership development strategy, get this book, The Multiplication Effect, and just begin to work your way through that with your staff. Email me if you want bulk copies. Just email me at maclakeonline@gmail.com, and we'll give you a discounted price for bulk orders. But do a book study together, John Maxwell book or Max Lucado book or what, you know, just do some sort of leadership thing together as a staff, and use this season to grow in your leadership. All right, this is a big one right here. Okay. Number 8, look for the fresh calling on people. Look for a fresh calling on people. Here's my biggest fear. My biggest fear through this whole thing is that we're going to applaud addition and totally miss multiplication. We're going to celebrate addition. Hey, we added so many more people to our church because of this. More people were exposed to our church and we added to our numbers. And you wouldn't believe how many devices are signing on Sunday morning. And we're going to celebrate addition and we're going to miss multiplication. Please don't miss multiplication. All right, addition is good, but God wants us to multiply our impact. So look for the calling of people who may have a calling to start a house church because of this season. People who may want to start or feel a calling to start a micro church or just a typical church plant. But look for calling. I believe God is going to use this season of crisis to stimulate a fresh calling on believers' lives so that we can expand the gospel and multiply the gospel through multiple churches and church planting, not just add to our churches and have bigger boxes. So look for people who have a calling for church planting or mobilizing the gospel in their homes or expanding the gospel in some way. Look for the callings of people in this season. Identify who they are and then commit to developing them up your leadership pipeline. and equipping them to go multiply the church. All right, hope these tips are helping you. If you want the previous videos, go to my YouTube channel, and I'll be uploading all these on there as well. youtube.com/MACLAKE, Mac Lake. Thanks again for joining me, and thank you so much for all the comments and encouragements on these videos as well. Guys, have a good one.